Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today we're taking a look at the very first Prism optic on the channel, and that is the Gideon Optics Advocate. Let's get into this. All right, so if you like this sort of content, please hit that like, share, subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Remember to hit all notifications and leave a comment down below. Let me know, well, really anything, but what your experience with Gideon Optics has been, if any. Now, for full transparency, I do have a relationship with Gideon Optics. This is the fourth or fifth optic, something like that, that I'm reviewing for them. I have purchased my own as well, and there is another one coming up. They did send this out to me for review shortly after SHOT Show. So I'm also an affiliate, and anything that you purchase through one of the links I give you for Gideon Optics gives me a small kickback. Otherwise, I've not been paid to do these reviews. I've not been paid to say nice or otherwise things about them, and you will get pure honesty as usual. So before we get into the optic itself, what is a Prism optic? So you've probably used a Prism optic and didn't even know it. On your red dot magnifier combos, that magnifier is a Prism optic. It just doesn't happen to have a reticle in it. And this is very much the same. This is a fixed power, fixed 1 power optic, and others can be fixed 3 power, fixed 2 power, fixed 4 power, depending on the manufacturer and things like that. This is Gideon's only one, and it is a fixed 1 power Prism. So the benefits of a Prism optic are a little subjective. Sometimes they're not, just depends on how you look at it. So you have a fixed magnification, again, with 1, 2, 3, 4x, whatever is out there. There's a bunch of different magnifications out there. Which pro and con being, if you don't need that amount of magnification, it kind of sucks. If you do need that amount of magnification, awesome. Also, many, I don't know if all of them do, but I do know that the vast majority of them have etched reticles in them. So you don't have to worry about relying on batteries, much like LPVOs that have etched reticles. Now, being a magnified optic, that does mean they also have a eye relief, whereas a red dot has basically infinite eye relief. So as you can see, this is mounted further back on my rail, where if this was a red dot, it would be all the way to the front, as I've talked about in previous videos. Now, prisms are considered to be tanks. Like the way a Prism optic is made is considered to be extremely durable, and we'll find out today with the drop test on this one. Also, if you have some vision problems, specifically astigmatism, many people report that the starbursting that they get with red dots, they don't tend to have with prisms, even when it is an illuminated prism. This one, again, has an etched reticle, but it also has illumination settings. So they've reported where they don't have the starbursting or fuzzy or halos around the reticle, whether it's etched or illuminated otherwise, with Prism optics. So some specs with the Gideon Advocate here. It is, as I said, a 1 power Prism. It has a 79-foot field of view at 100 yards. We're going to be shooting at far closer than that today, but it has a 79-foot field of view at a 100 yards and is parallax free at 79. Now the body design is 6061 T6 aluminum, which is the softer of the two. However, with Prism designs being so durable, so built up, historically speaking, this is one of the times that I don't think 6061 is going to be as big of an issue as it may be in some other optics out there. Now on the back side here, it does have a diopter focus ring that works very well, very smooth, and the reticle itself is a segmented circle triangle. Now that segmented circle triangle does have some advantages. Number one, circles, anytime you have a circle in an optic, in my opinion, it helps to focus your eye towards the center. Your eye sees a circle, right down to the center, you tend to focus. And then a triangle, much like chevrons and things in other optics, triangles give infinite aiming points. So instead of a dot that may or may not be too bright for the distance that you are aiming, or the size of the dot, say a 3 MOA or a 6 MOA dot, that equates out to 3 or 6 inches at 100 yards, a triangle gives an infinite aiming point. So the size of the triangle matters far less than, say, something like the size of a dot. So again, I did say that this was an illuminated reticle, which, to be honest, does almost zero good out here in the bright sunlight of the southern Arizona desert. I can see the red slightly. However, being an etched reticle, I really don't need the illumination until it gets to be like a dusk or darker setting where the black etched reticle is a little harder to see. So for its use case, in my opinion, the brightness is fine in the lower light settings that I think it's more usable in. Now it does have soft touch push buttons at the top, plus and minus, and it also shake awake. So it will fall asleep, the illumination will fall asleep in 4 minutes and then shake awake when you pick up the rifle or move the rifle. And last two things, it does have 90 MOA of adjustment for elevation and windage, and it does take a CR2032 battery with a 30,000 hour battery life. I'm assuming that's on a mid setting. That's normally where that's at because of the shake awake and auto off function of. So eye relief, they don't say on the website what the eye relief is, but I'm getting a full, almost basically right up against it, and about there. Yeah, about there is where I start getting a little bit of what would be scope shadow. So the eye relief is very generous. I just can't have it as far forward on the rail as I would a red dot, because back here, while I can still see the circle and the triangle, it's a far smaller field of view. So right about there is a full field of view, and I can see the circle and triangle very, very well. So before we get into the shooting test, accuracy and drop test, the destructive testing of it, I do have about 1,000 rounds on this. This has been on this Anderson 11.5 frontline pistol since I got it. And so it's gone through all of the rounds with the Anderson and a little bit beyond that initial review of the Anderson. If you want to see a full review on this, I will tag that card up here somewhere and leave a link to the Anderson Frontline down below. So I have a target out there at 36 yards, which is where I have this zeroed. That's where I zero all red dots, and this being 1x magnification, I've treated it as such, like a red dot. So I have 36 yards, and it was zeroed with a suppressor on it. I don't have the suppressor on it because the drop test and undue torque out here can really screw up a barrel. 5 rounds of Frontier 223. Let's do this. Ah, that one went off. All right, let's go check that out. Now, before anybody says anything, yes, it's an 11.5, and 11.5 is not going to be as accurate as a 16. We know this, and let's expect that downrange. I'm expecting somewhere in the vicinity of a 2 to 3 inch group at 36 yards, maybe less, maybe 1.5 to 2, but that right around that 2 inch is what I'm expecting downrange. So let's go look at it. So this is not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is about 1.5 inches. That's an inch circle, so that's about 1.5 inches group right there. Let's do the drop test and compare it. All right, I got 5 more rounds loaded up of Frontier 223. Gun is clear. Shoulder height drop. Shoulder height drop. And one on the top. That was dead on it. And I believe I'm still in camera frame. Let's look. Reticle is still on. I did have the illumination on at the time. I have a feeling I was going a little fast on that. So, glass is not broken. Everything is still clear. The illumination is still on, which I'm going to go ahead and turn off right now. Let's go down and look at it. All right, so let's turn you around here. And as you can see, there really isn't any appreciable shift. Yeah, so there was those 3, and I think that one and that one. So it maybe, if it shifted 1/2 inch, but no, no appreciable shift whatsoever. So what else is there to say? I mean, yeah, it's scratched up. The buttons still work. Buttons still work. On, off. It's still tight. I mean, focus ring still does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, focus ring still does what it's supposed to do. Complete pass. I have said, even though I do have a relationship with Gideon, I really think that of new companies, the companies that have kind of come out of nowhere over the last year or so, Gideon really is the standout in my opinion. And that's one of the reasons why I like working with them so much. It's an optic company that's good to work for. They're great people, and their products have been just phenomenal, especially for the price. Speaking of price, YouTube sensors, I'm going to talk about price. I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling any regulated goods. I'm just forwarding on information to the viewer that they need to know to make an educated decision. These things come in right around $230, which is not bad. Obviously durable, very clear glass in my view, in my opinion, and very, very usable optic. When I run this thing and I run it quickly, I don't, I find myself being able to pick up targets fast with it. It's just a super, super usable, very durable, and well, as we can see, reliable optic. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Again, comment just about anything, especially if you've had experience with Gideon optics yourself. You will also find a row of t-shirts down below where you can get your own RTT Guns and Gear merch. I've never plugged it before. I thought I'd do it now and see what happens. I appreciate everybody's out there. I appreciate everybody's support out there. And I appreciate Gideon for sending this out. We will talk to you guys later.